All right. So Andre, like Tommy just said, obviously you're gonna fight coming up. It's what, about 3 weeks out?
About 3 weeks out.
All right. And you're back home.
I'm back home again.
Training,
yes,
right?
Yes.
To the roots here, right?
Back to the roots, baby.
All right. Well, without giving too much of disclosing too much of your plan, obviously I know you always give 110%. Your diet's always on point. Your cardiovascular is second to none. What are you doing different to prepare for this fight than you did for the other fights?
Like my last fight, I actually decided to come back home and do a training camp with who I started with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like my father and my coaches up here. And because every time that I was up here training, I always felt at home when I was visiting, you know? And I wanted that home feeling again. I wanted a team that went to sleep thinking about my fight and woke up thinking about my fight, you know? And that's what I did. I'm glad I followed my heart, and I did that last camp. Obviously it worked. Everybody says I look great. I think I looked great in my last fight, and I won.
Yeah,
and that's
no, absolutely. I agree with you 110%, Andre. Last fight you looked awesome. And I do see something different in you when you're training here back at home. You got like that fire in your eyes. You know what I mean? And it's just, and I know your dad's a big part of your training camp, and he's a great guy. I've trained with him in the past before, and he's just giving it 110%. Who else are you working with besides your father for this fight?
I'm working with Dave Keith, my boxing coach. Okay. He's been there since day one, and the Jeffrey brothers, Pete Jeffrey. He does a lot of my MMA grappling and strategy. And Keith Jeffrey, it's great. You know, you used to see us work out together.
Right,
he was my strength conditioning coach, my first ever strength conditioning coach. And I came back to him, and he's kicking my butt.
Yeah,
and he's working me. I feel strong and more athletic than ever. So I'm glad to be back with Keith also.
Yeah, good. Yep.
Also doing some cross training, you know, with the Boston boys, Lozans, stuff like that. Team United, Muay Lao.
Yep. Good. Yeah, I mean, with the Jeffrey brothers and stuff like that, I know their jiu-jitsu and their ground game is pretty much secondary to none.
Amazing.
I mean, they're at the top of the food chain when it comes to like the jiu-jitsu and the ground game and stuff like that. So obviously, that's obviously a benefit for you. In reference to, like you said, you know, your boxing coaches, are you doing anything in reference to like diets, or you just basically sticking to what you did for your last fight? Obviously that worked for you. You looked great, like I said before. You came in there, you were shredded. You were on point. I gotta say, I watched that fight. I was very impressed by your performance. So diet is basically the same.
It's the same.
Weight
you know,
is
I've been
not
doing
an issue,
this,
obviously.
I've been doing this for so long now. I've been fighting for 12 years that I know what I need to do to stay on top of my weight. You know, so I know what to eat. I know what proteins I need to eat. I know what kind of carbs I need to take in. I know I need to eat my veggies, drink my protein shakes, what I need to have a breakfast. So, you know, I'm pretty much a pro at that. So the only thing now is just to stay disciplined, and that's what I do. I stay disciplined for a good 8 weeks. Right. Make sure I get down with that weight so that it's not a hard weight cut at the end of the day.
Right. So you mentioned the 8 weeks. Obviously, you're 3 weeks out. It's April 13th the fight.
Yes.
What do you do for the remaining half of your training camp? Obviously, I know you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to underdo it. Right now, there's like a science to this, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. These last 2 weeks, I'm gonna call them hell weeks, because like this is when I'm really gonna peak. And like I felt it today in my workout earlier today. You know, we're about 3 weeks out, and I didn't always feel good. Like when I got here 3 weeks ago, I felt sluggish and tired because it was my first week here. I'm not used to the cold. I live in Florida now. Right. You know, mentally, I'm emotionally, I miss my kids at home. I'm leaving my kids, my wife. So like, you know, that first week is always hard. That second week's getting better, and this is my 3rd week here now, and I feel like I am a machine. Like when I got done with my workouts today, I felt like I was so strong. Like I was saying, I felt like I was so athletic and so fast that I'm ready to just go 100% these next 2 weeks. Get ready to train and fly out to Atlanta, and when I fly out, that's my rest week. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Now, when are you going to be flying out to Atlanta?
I'm going to be flying out that Tuesday, so April 9th.
Okay.
April 9th.
All right. Yep. So you're going to have obviously a few days there to adjust and so on.
Exactly. Just chill out, you know.
Let's talk a little bit about your opponent. Obviously, you're a very humble guy. You respect all your opponents. You're not really much of a trash talker, which I like about you. You don't see, you know, it's a true sign of a champion. You know what I mean? You go in there, you do your training camps, you stick to the game plan. You don't talk a lot of junk. You just get the work done. Now, Montel is obviously a great opponent. Do you see yourself using a specific tactics, doing something different, or are you just going to go in there, stick to your game plan, and see how it pans out.
I definitely need to go in there and fight smart this fight, because any little mistake can cost me getting knocked out. You know, he's a finisher or choked out. He's a finisher.
Hold on 1 second. Folks, I don't see any of the above happening to my boy here. Well, go ahead, finish that up.
Yes, well, you know, I've never been finishing all my losses, and that's because I have heart.
Right.
You know what
Absolutely,
I mean?
dude.
I will fight until I cannot fight anymore. But with this guy, I know that, you know, I've seen it. People make mistakes, and you know, all of a sudden they're sleeping, or he's got him to choke and they're tapping. So I really gotta be on top of my game and 100% focused on the fight when I'm in that cage, because he is tall, he is lanky, and he's an awkward fighter. And with those kind of guys, you have to really, you know, be patient and be smart.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I don't have a doubt in my mind that you're not going to be at 100% when you get in that cage or at the top of your game. Obviously, you said your wife and your kids are back in Florida.
Yeah, they're back.
You want to give them a little message? Obviously, I don't know if they're watching.
Of course.
Obviously, I know that motivates you. You know what I'm saying? Listen,
that's what I do
more important than family.
Yeah.
And I know you grind it out for them, and you're a great husband and you're a great father figure to your kids. So
thank you. They're my motivation. Without them, you know, I wouldn't be pushing as hard. Like, I don't need to push when I think about them. It actually pulls me. You know, the work pulls me, because I know that this is my job. This is how I provide for my family. And I want to give them a better life. So I have to do this. I have to do the best I can for this. So Benson, Parker, what's up? Daddy loves you. And Jamie, you know, she's been my manager for 10 years, and she's been behind my back the whole time. You've seen her in the gym back in the day, pregnant, watching me train.
Always in there, always in the mix.
She's holding it down right now, and I just want to say thank you, baby. I love you.
All right, well, listen, folks, here we are, April 13th. My boy, make sure you watch him.
Regional Fight Sports, thank you.
Bingo.